Well, Coach, I think finished your 12th practice of the fall camp. How are the guys looking?
We pushed through today. It wasn't a bad day, but you can tell the heat and the pads and just practicing a long time. And I know I say the same things a lot of times, but the National Football League, they get to scrimmage other people and it gets their juices up. And when you're a high school football coach in Texas, you're excited about your scrimmages, right? And our same left tackle has been blocking our same defensive end now for a lot of days in a row. And just that grind. It's that camp grind. There's no other way around it. It is what it is. There's no magic pill. You just got to push through it. And that's where we are right now. Good work, but you can tell the grind's getting to us.
Saw some single-digit jerseys come out yesterday. Just what was the mood like when you told those guys?
Well, for the 12 to 16 of them that win it, it's always great. When you're the head coach, my heart always goes out to the 3 or 4 that were right there on the line. And you got to call them in and tell them, your peers thought a lot of you, your coaches thought a lot of you. It wasn't just quite enough. So we've got such a good football team. I wish we could take 30 kids and put them in single digits, right? And that's where my heart always goes. But yeah, it's good to celebrate that, and it's one of the unique things we do. And it's a tough deal because you got 12 to 16 guys thrilled, and you got whatever the math is, 104 to 102, whatever that is, upset they didn't get in it. But how many great players we have that started out in another number? Liggins used to wear 88 back in the day, and you can just go on and on down the line. I think, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I think Rashad and Frank might be the only ones that have only been a single digit for me since I've been here. Everybody else started out at another number and then got voted in later.
Got a handful of new guys in single digits. The 2 that jumped out were Kavorian Barnes and
Probably Trey Moore.
Yeah, Trey Moore. What did those 2 guys do to get into those?
It's one of the few times I've ever had to help you, Jake.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
I kind of knew that day was coming.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this many kids to come back, so I was pretty intentional after the bowl game to bring Kavorian and Trey up there with me. Just kind of a message to everybody that we're going to be okay, that we've got really good young players. And it's always tough when you lose great players, and you're rooting for them. We're all getting to cheer for them right now on Sundays, and these scrimmages, the NFL's having right now. But it's exciting because they're 2 wonderful kids. Trey right here from Smithson Valley, and obviously Key is from St. Augustine, an East Texas kid, but great spirits and really good football players.
So Joe Evans, that was another name on there. What did he do to get on there?
He's a lot like Trey, and Key, he's just a really good human. He's a really good football player, and I think all 3 of those guys will have a good chance to play in the National Football League.
We're fixing to talk to Frank here. How have you seen him go through this first 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I guess, of fall camp?
I almost, like the other day, I saw he's on his 10 trillionth award he's nominated for. I felt cold when I said it because I put a tweet out that just said, I've talked enough about this kid, and I don't mean that in any way negative, but there's no other word I could even come up with to talk about Frank Harris more glowing than I already have. And what I'll say, here's what's different. I do know this time is his last time, and I'm not going to take that kid for granted. I never have. I've always enjoyed coaching him. I've made that clear. But in my heart, I always thought I could have the blessing of him coming back again, and we were fortunate enough to have that happen. So I know this time's it. Like yesterday, I haven't even said this to him, but yesterday was his last Monday practice. We don't practice on Mondays. So, that was it. He will never be my quarterback on a Monday again. And I know that all sounds sentimental and silly, but when you have someone like Frank that's done so much for our program, for me personally, he just is all that. No more comments about Frank Harris. I've got 10 trillion of them out there now.
Well, just one more question on him. How's he looked in camp? Earlier you said he was throwing the ball great. You still see that progression?
As good as I've ever seen him throw it. He just knows the offense so well. He's got total control of it. Literally. I know I've kind of, each year we've given him more and more and more and more, but he really has it all now. He'll check any play he wants to, protection. He's put the game plan in for all I care. Kind of does anyway. So That's where I see the best. And his confidence in throwing. Like used to, he had to get out of the pocket. He had to make it with his feet. He could survive being a pocket quarterback. Now, he doesn't like it when I tell him that. But when he was kind of getting up all spring and summer, I was literally like, hey, we can make this work another way. We don't have to run you. He's like, no, coach, I want to use my legs. But he could literally survive being an old school, just pocket quarterback. He's progressed that much in his throwing.
Is this your last week of camp, I guess, and you started getting to game prep next week?
Yeah, praise the Lord. I'm ready for camp to be over too.
I saw Sincere McCormick had a big day on Sunday. Just what did that mean to say? You got a couple of guys playing in these preseason games, but for Sincere to be able to come back from that injury, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, Sincere and I are very close. Again, he's a lot like Frank in the sense that kid could have taken days off. He never took a rep off. Like he was in every inside run. He ran the ball, I think, 40 times against Memphis, and he's right back out there the very next day. So there's a special place in my heart for him. You can't bet on IQ and character. You just can't bet against it. And Sincere has IQ and he has character. I would never count that kid out. So saw something that's pretty cool. Now, I read it on the old Twitter deal or X, whatever y'all call it nowadays, and it says Sincere was the first person to score 2 touchdowns in his first NFL game since 1933. Now, I don't know if that's factual or not, but it'd be a heck of a rumor to get spread, so that's pretty cool.
All right, Coach, appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
y'all very much.